Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Jimothy Listens. My name is Jimothy, and let's get into what I listened to in the last week. If you missed the last video, this is a new thing I'm starting doing to try and trim down my list of albums that I need to listen to, which is rapidly going out of control. I am committing to listening to a new album every day. If you want to follow that, I'm writing all of my thoughts on them on the Jimothy Listens Instagram account. They're there in the stories, and all of my previous ones are highlighted from the last year, so go check those out. But this is I'm just going to give you my thoughts on 7 little, and by 7 I actually mean 8 little albums / EPs that I've listened to in the past week. Let's get into it. So first up is Sitting at the End of the World by JOHNNASCUS, who I had never heard of before. Literally, this was just tweeted out by Rural Internet, who are an amazing group that I follow. They were like, hey, listen to this. And so I did. And it's really cool. It's a really cool little experimental electronic kind of rap, punk, noise, pop kind of thing. It's wild. It's insane. The production is absolutely mental. It goes insanely hard, and I'm into it quite a bit. My only sort of downside with it is that because it's so intense and pummeling, and there's not a lot of structure to a lot of the songs, they kind of move quite fluidly, is that there's not really too many standout bangers that I'm gonna play on repeat and have stuck in my head. But other than that, it's a very cool sort of movement of an album. It works well to listen to from start to finish, and I'm just liking it. It's a cool sound. Give it a 7 to 8 out of 10. Up next is the new little EP from Kaizo Slumber. It's called Slumberspa. Kaizo Slumber I first heard at the beginning of this year when they put out the Kaizo Manifesto album, which is banging, hardcore, hardstyle electronic music, and it's big and in your face, but also quite bright and fun and light and enjoyable at the same time. It was really cool. This is an ambient little EP, so instead of being hardcore, it's very stripped back, and it's very calming. It's a very calming little EP. There's nothing really too special about it. It's ambient. It's not there's anything where you're gonna be oh my god, wow, that blew my mind. But it's a nice little thing to listen to for 12 minutes or however long it lasts for. I definitely recommend checking it out if you just need to calm down for anything. It's cute. 7 out of 10. I keep the 4-5 close, get your low-fi smoke. From there, we have this collaborative album from producer Danger Mouse and rapper Black Thought. It is called Cheat Codes, and it's just a flawless little hip-hop album. I've noticed myself recently kind of becoming one of the gatekeepy old head kind of people and being oh, hip-hop today just isn't what it used to be. All of these trap artists just making a mumbling over beat, and as much as I try to not be that person, it's nice when we get just a good solid hip-hop album like this that's just basically flawless. The production all hits and is smooth. The samples are done amazingly. It's gorgeous. Black Thought's rapping is top-notch all the way through. The features all go ham. It's a nice sort of tight listen that doesn't drag on forever. I think it sort of comes to just under 40 minutes in total. Every track has their place. It doesn't really feel like there's any filler. It's just what rap, in my opinion, should be. It's refreshing and it's nice, and it's something that I needed in the hip-hop landscape at the moment, and I just really, really, really like it. It's an 8 out of 10, but a good 8. A good 8 out of 10. The dumpster fire got bigger, now we need a bigger dumpster and a book of matches. Up next is Cheekface with Too Much to Ask. I don't know anything about this band. I just heard this album because the Needle Drop recommended it, and reveal time, I am a big Fantano stan. I get a lot of recommendations from him. If you couldn't tell, I'm sorry, but he has good taste. So yeah, but he recommended this album, and it's a lot of fun. As the band's name would suggest, it's kind of cheeky. It's just a little garage kind of punk rock album that doesn't really have anything special sonically. The music itself is quite just standard kind of rock stuff. It's nice, but nothing amazing. The singing is pretty mediocre, if I'm being honest, but the big draw really is the writing. It is so on the nose and funny and insightful and relatable in a very kind of surreal and weird way that just the whole time I was listening, I was going like, that makes no sense, but I understand it completely. The whole album is kind of very much just looking at like the world at the moment, and it feels very like hopeless, but also does it in like a fun kind of way. And so it's something where you're like, oh, right. And it's a weird feeling, but these very just like surreal nonsense lyrics is some of the most relatable stuff I've heard in a long time. And it's weird, and I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. It's a 7 to 8 out of 10. We move on to Could We Be More by Kokoroko. I hope that's how you say that. I don't actually know. I heard a track from this at the new radio gig that I'm doing. One of the songs that I had to play while presenting was a song from this album, and I really liked it, so I checked it out. And it's just a nice kind of like jazzy / like afro funk, mostly instrumental album. It's very groovy, it's very funky, it's very cool, it's quite sort of fun. I think a lot of it is improvisation based, which is super cool, and it's just good vibes the whole time. Like, I don't really know enough about any of the styles of music involved to be able to speak on like technical stuff. It's above me, but it's just a really nice album to listen to. Kind of like the Kaizo Slumber EP. This is something that you can just put on in the background while you're doing some work or doing the dishes or something, and it'll just be good vibes. Just be good vibes, nice and relaxing, nice and fun, bright, chill, good vibes into a 7 out of 10. Another Fantano recommendation. This is the Meridian brothers teaming up with a fictional salsa group that doesn't actually exist, El Grupo Renacimiento, for the, I guess, self-titled album. It's a weird little salsa album. I mean, I don't know, I don't listen to a lot of salsa normally, but it seems weird, especially with the singing being done in what can really only be described as like a Kermit the Frog voice, but it's kind of cool. All of the instruments sound great. The like salsa grooves are very just like addictive and intuitive and just sit really nicely, but also kind of have a bit of like a quirky, dreamy quality to them. The whole kind of like fictional salsa group thing really just makes this album feel like it is set in a fictional world. It's not like, here is salsa from the world we live in. It's like, here's some sort of like stylized version of salsa from this like fictional world, and it's quite cool and it's very nice. It has like quite a strong character to it. It's cool. I'm into it. This is 7 out of 10.
Nigga, money on my mind more than half the time. They put our masks on the money, so I mastermind.
This came out literally this morning. I am recording this actually before it's come out in America. Haha, suck it, I've already heard it. You haven't. This new album from rapper JID, The Forever Story. I think this is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to for a while, because JID is just quality always, constantly. I don't think I've ever heard something from JID that I've been like, and this continues that. It's just good quality beats, amazing rapping. JID's voice and what he can do with it and what he can do with rhymes and bars is almost unmatched at this point. The features all do surprisingly good work. Even like Lil Durk, who I'm not usually a fan of, chucks a great verse on this album. Really, my only problem with it is that it's an hour long. Now, normally with like an hour long rap album, I can go like, oh, it's, you know, full of filler, get rid of this, this, and this. But this album isn't really full of filler. It's more just my brain doesn't have the attention span to keep up with it. And because, like I said, the quality is so consistently good, it's not even like there's sort of moments that are like weird or questionable that you can kind of like stick on and point through. It's just good music for an hour, which I found myself sort of getting lost in, especially because a lot of the tracks feature like beat switches and like different sort of structures. So it's not like, here's individual songs. I just kind of felt myself getting swamped by it. But really, like, that's a minor thing. It's nitpicking. This is a very good album, very good rapping and stuff all the way through. JID just continues to prove himself as one of the most exciting voices in hip hop today. And yeah, I like it. 7 out of 10. And then finally, literally recording this like 10 minutes after my reaction video to it. So I'm not going to talk about it too much in this video. My reaction video is up on the channel. You can go watch that. But Twice's new mini album Between 1 and 2 is out, and it's kind of not what I was hoping. It doesn't really live up to Twice's normal high quality stuff. It's not bad, but it's just a bit underwhelming for Twice. But that's all I'll say now. If you want to watch my reaction to it, go and do that. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, I gave it's a 6 out of 10. And that is it. That is what I have listened to this week. Have you listened to any of these albums? If you have, let me know your thoughts on them. I'd love to hear it. Make sure you follow the Instagram account if you want to read my reactions to albums as they happen each day. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Catch ya.